Victor Ryan, a wealthy and reclusive man in his late 50s, had built an empire through sharp investments and shrewd takeovers. While feared and respected in the business world, his personal life was a stark contrast. Living alone in his sprawling estate, his only companion was Max, a 14-year-old golden retriever who had been by his side through life's highs and lows. Having lost his wife to cancer and estranged from his only son over a bitter inheritance dispute, Max was the closest thing Victor had to family. Max, however, was now nearing the end of his life. The once energetic dog was frail and could barely lift his head. The veterinarian had given him only a few weeks to live. Victor, a man who had control over everything in his world, felt powerless as he watched Max fade. One rainy afternoon, as he sat by Max, stroking his fur, Victor decided to hire a professional nurse to care for Max in his final days. He needed someone to administer pain relief and ensure Max's comfort when he couldn't bear to watch. After a quick search, Victor found Elena, a veterinary nurse in her mid-30s with glowing recommendations. Her references spoke of her deep compassion for animals, and her calm, empathetic demeanor on the phone reassured Victor. She agreed to start immediately, promising to make Max's final days as peaceful as possible. The next morning, Elena arrived at Victor's estate. She was composed and professional, carrying a leather bag of medical supplies. Despite the grandeur of Victor's home, she seemed unaffected. Kneeling beside Max, she whispered softly to him, stroking his fur with a tenderness that surprised Victor. Max appeared to relax under her care, and Victor, for the first time in days, felt a sense of relief. After briefing Elena about his schedule and Max's needs, Victor left for a day of business meetings, feeling comforted by her presence. That night, Victor returned home to find the house unusually quiet. He hurried to Max's room and was relieved to see the dog sleeping peacefully with Elena by his side, reading quietly. Everything seemed better than he had hoped. When he thanked Elena, she assured him that she would stay with Max through the night. Though hesitant to leave Max entirely in her care, Victor was exhausted and agreed, trusting her completely. The next morning, Victor woke up uneasy. Something felt off. Rushing to Max's room, he found the bed empty. The blanket was neatly folded, but Max was nowhere to be seen. Panicking, he called out for Elena and searched the house. He found her in the kitchen, calmly making tea. When he demanded to know where Max was, Elena responded in a composed tone that Max was at peace now. Victor's heart sank as she explained that she had given Max a sedative the previous night to ease his pain, and that he had passed away in his sleep. She had buried him in the garden that morning. Victor was stunned. Grief and rage overwhelmed him. She had made this decision without consulting him, stealing his chance to say goodbye to his best friend. His voice shook as he demanded to know why she hadn't told him. Elena defended her actions, saying she believed it was kinder this way, sparing Victor from witnessing Max's suffering. Consumed by anger and betrayal, Victor fired Elena on the spot, ordering her to leave. She packed her things and left without protest, leaving Victor standing alone, his mind racing. That night, he couldn't sleep. Doubts gnawed at him. Why had she buried Max so quickly? Why hadn't she informed him beforehand? Something felt terribly wrong. Unable to let the matter rest, Victor hired a private investigator to look into Elena's background. The results were chilling. Elena's nursing license had been revoked years ago due to multiple cases of negligence. Worse, there were whispers that she had been involved in unauthorized euthanasia of pets. Victor's unease turned to dread. Had Max truly died peacefully, or had something far darker occurred? Desperate for answers, Victor made the difficult decision to exhume Max's grave. With the help of a trusted groundskeeper, he located the spot Elena had indicated. As they dug, Victor's heart raced. When they finally unearthed the coffin, it was empty. Victor was overcome with confusion and terror. Where was Max's body? What had Elena done? Further investigation uncovered an even more horrifying truth. Elena had ties to an underground network that sold sick and dying pets to illegal laboratories for experiments. The animals were declared dead, and their bodies were never returned to their owners. The revelation sickened Victor. He couldn't bear the thought of Max suffering in some horrific lab, far from the peaceful end Elena had promised. Determined to uncover the truth, Victor tracked Elena down to a rundown apartment in the city. When he confronted her, her demeanor was unnervingly calm. Elena admitted that Max wasn't dead, Her cryptic response chilled Victor. She claimed to have given Max freedom and insisted that he was too pure for the life Victor had given him. She accused Victor of trying to control Max's fate with his wealth and declared that she had saved Max from him. Victor's mind reeled. Was Max alive, or was this some twisted delusion? Elena refused to provide clear answers, and soon after she disappeared entirely. Despite hiring more investigators, Victor never found any trace of Max or Elena. The uncertainty haunted him. His once orderly world was now consumed by unanswered questions and unbearable guilt. Had Max truly been saved, or had he fallen victim to something far darker? Victor withdrew from the public eye, his empire running on autopilot as he became a shadow of his former self. His grand estate, once a symbol of his success, now felt empty and hollow. Victor's heart ached for Max, the only soul who had loved him unconditionally. In his solitude, he reflected on the painful truth. All his wealth and power could not protect him from losing what mattered most. Victor's life became a haunting reminder that trust and loyalty cannot be bought, and some losses leave scars too deep to heal. As the seasons passed, the mystery of Max's fate lingered, a cruel question that would forever torment the man who once had everything.